That's part of the fun.
He's nice over there.
I'm in trouble.
That's part of the fun. All right.
We already know.
Too much pressure.
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Reporting live from the city of winners, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, on a run the likes of which we've never seen. And sadly, in the back of my mind, I'm just worried that somehow, some way, this can't continue. But for now, we're going to drink it in, and we are going to embrace the feeling of victory across the board.
I think you soak it in, right? You don't drink it in?
Yeah, I mean, you can drink it, you can soak it. I mean, have you seen these celebrations? They're drinking, they're soaking.
Yeah, I kind of like the drink.
You like the drink?
Drink it in.
Drink it
Like
in, soak it in. Thank you.
Makes more sense than soaking
You're already
it
getting
in.
my back.
What's up with this negativity in the back of your mind?
Yeah, seriously.
It's a very, like, you know, it's in the back of your head. It's this voice that's speaking, but we'll get more
Tell
into
that voice to shut up.
I just want to make sure we have an amazing guest on our hands tonight. On our hands.
On our hands?
So you're not on our hands. On hand.
What?
You're with us. Devin Kaney is with us, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
A true professional. I'm like almost a little intimidated. You've been behind the
Oh my God.
microphone and the camera so many times, but you can show us how this actually works.
Yeah, I can show you guys the ropes here.
We could use that. And I've been kind of checking out everything you're up to, and you're like everywhere. How do you even like manage? How do you know like where to go when, right? You're doing so many different things, it looks like.
I am doing quite a lot. Like anytime someone asks me where I work these days, I'm like, I have 10 different jobs. Like I can't even explain the different things that I do. But yeah, I don't really keep track of my schedule, honestly. It's
That's
day
gotta
to
be
day.
tough.
Yeah, like people are like, oh, what are you up to tomorrow? And I literally always have to like go to my calendar and see what is on the agenda. It's definitely a 7-day-a-week grind, but I'm grateful for the opportunities that have come my way. I'm from just outside Philly, so to be able to cover Philly sports has always been a dream.
That's right, Radnor, right?
Yes.
Is that where you
Radnor.
grew up?
Yes.
Very good, very good. Well, yeah, I have a lot of respect for that hustle, you know, because a lot of people that are in the business around here, maybe they've been working for, you know, a particular broadcast entity for many years, but there's a lot of other people that are out there grinding, doing a lot of different things on a day-to-day basis. I know we've been seeing a lot of you on the Jacob Media Eagles post-game show,
Yes.
which has got a bunch of really great people on that. You're on the radio with WIP. I saw you got a gambling show, right, with Harry Mays and Eitan Shander, right?
Yes, yeah.
All this stuff. Like, I don't know how you're doing that. I can barely get here to do
Flyers
this.
in arena host.
But yeah, someone, when I announced the Flyers thing, someone tweeted, like, how do you ever have any free time? And I'm like, I don't. Like, there's no
Right.
solution to that, but I guess it's a sacrifice I'm
And
willing
I
to
make a joke that I can barely get here. Rock literally texts us every week, is this happening? About 15 minutes before he gets here.
It's a lie.
Is that
I did that one time, and it's going to hang over my head forever.
One time you're that guy.
That's
I know,
One
right?
time you're that guy.
Think how
It was a little
You did it one
cloudy
time,
that-
and then another time you were like, should I even bother coming this week?
It was a little cloudy that day. There was no back and forth on the text chain. So I was like, is this shit really happening today?
So let's head over to the Fink tank real quick. My buddy Eric Fink, how are you, buddy?
I'm doing great. How you doing?
I think I saw a tweet from you that was, you know, sympathetic to my viewpoint of feeling like, you know, something like the floor is going to fall out from under you, right? Saying something like, oh, this is going like too good.
Everything in Philly sports is going too well.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm just waiting. I think, well, in my thinking, I thought something personally is going to happen bad to me, so that's what I'm waiting
Oh,
for.
personally?
But,
Like,
yeah.
you're personally responsible for
Yeah,
all
or
this?
Like the world will hold a personal vendetta against you
It's gonna
if
be like-
Philly sports do well. That's some deep thinking.
That's
right
interesting.
there. I
That's
love
the
it.
next level stuff. I was
Yeah.
just thinking sports would turn poor, and then I'd feel bad about myself.
Yeah, it's
but I
either
didn't
that
think-
or like a nuclear war or something crazy like that.
What was
you
the
know?
tweet?
Okay,
What is
so
this
the whole
tweet?
world is going to pay for
Yeah,
this. That makes sense.
Can you pull this tweet up? Well, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm
we
still
can find
suspended,
that.
by the way.
I mean, we can find it
Oh, you're
somehow.
still suspended.
Why are you
King?
suspended on Twitter? What did you say?
I don't know.
Rock is
I have
wild.
no
Rock is
idea.
wild on Twitter,
He
man.
joined and he didn't accumulate enough followers.
Maybe that's what it was.
For them to think that he had an actual account. So
That's
they shut
probably
it.
what it
They
was.
thought you were a bot.
Probably.
Did you have like the egg avatar photo? Like
No, I actually had the wheelchair cat the washed wheelchair cat as my avatar. But
If you haven't seen the washed wheelchair, we'll get that to you later. It's a quality meme there.
yeah, I only had like 7 followers. I had like 2 tweets, and I go on one day, and it's like your account is permanently suspended.
What did you do, bro?
I have no idea.
Probably saw you were
In
affiliated
the
with
past
Meech.
3 weeks, he's got his Venmo hacked, his Twitter account suspended. And,
Got my email hacked. I got all types
and
of
his,
stuff going
his
on.
bank
Yeah.
account. Someone
It's got to be the iPhone. So
Yeah,
I thought
like change
iPhones
your
were like-
iPhone password. I don't know.
I changed every password. I got some stuff back going now. My Venmo's back open. If anybody wants to
we're
send
happy
some
if
money my
anybody
way.
wants to send me money.
Way to turn it around.
But I'm permanently suspended on Twitter, so I'm at the start of no one.
Yeah,
So.
we send
Yeah,
them
all you
stuff,
do is
can't
sign up
see
for
it.
a new account. I mean, it's
Yeah.
not that hard, dude.
If anyone
yeah, I'm
took
on, like,
Philly
my third
Twitter
account.
away from me, like I don't know what I would do.
Yeah,
That
I'm
is my
addicted at this point.
Life's
Yeah,
worth.
yeah, you guys are
I'm about
deep.
to get deep into it once I
you know,
sign up again.
I was.
I need a good name. What's a good name for me?
I liked Roger Rocker. Apparently, Twitter didn't think it was great. His middle name is Rocker. It's a true story. But anyway, that's neither here nor there.
Badass.
No, but I was seeing the other day, you were tweeting about how you were stressing out during this Phillies game. And I was like, okay, yeah, like, I get you. I feel that same way. My problem is I tell these guys all the time, I don't just like, I think of something and I was like, put it out there, that's stupid, no one's going to give a crap. You got to kind of just like, put your whole like emotions out there. It's the best way to do it, right?
Yeah, like I always say, it's so funny the difference in different social medias. Like I joke, but I'm not really joking that I do my best work on Twitter. I think because I started on Twitter, like I don't have that many like friends from childhood, from Radnor, from college on Twitter. It's more just like Philly people and people I've met through work. So I always kind of felt more freedom to be myself. It's not like Instagram where you're just like posting pretty photo. Well, at least as a woman, you're
I'm always
posting.
doing that.
Yeah, mine are all
Yeah, me
pretty.
too.
You see the way the
Selfies,
majority of
you see the way the
yourself.
light hits our head.
I do,
Like,
and
it's
it's
a particular thing. You
beautiful,
can't
yeah.
replicate it. You can't replicate it at all.
But no, I love Twitter, and I've met so many friends from Twitter.
That's how these
especially
guys
Philly
met.
Twitter.
Did you know
Who, us?
No.
Because that is how I met Fink.
Well, yeah, I didn't mean that, but Meech and Fink met that way. You know, it's kind of like an online.
Didn't you guys meet at a
scandal.
bar though, like accidentally? And you were
Yeah,
like,
but
"Hey, are you?"
They knew each other from Twitter.
Yeah, but like we met from, but we live like literally 2 blocks away from each other, so
Gotcha.
it wasn't.
And yeah, we hang out all the time. He's stuck with me. He hates
Yeah,
it.
he's like your uncle.
Now he's like my
He's like
The
your
fun, the
uncle.
fun, the fun.
my
He's
road
a fun
trip
uncle.
buddy.
You know, I realized I was
We're always
working on
carpooling together.
I was working on some City Pigeons marketing collateral this week, and I was looking at like the language I was using. I realized I called him Northeast Philadelphia's finest, Eric Fink.
And
I
what the
said-
fuck am I then?
That's what I said. I insulted Meech. I really screwed you over. Anyway,
Yeah,
look,
Northeast Philly's finest, and then another Northeast Philly guy just
you guys
thrown in
collectively-
there. Me.
You collectively are Northeast Philly's finest. There's no doubt about that.
I don't like
so, going back to this vibe, this feeling that we have, I was thinking about it, right? Because I think you guys could probably agree that over the last maybe 15, 20 years, the Eagles and the Phillies have been, you know, the most prominent franchises. Obviously, the Sixers have had their moments, the AI run. Now we have this current team. But I was thinking about it, I was like, is there ever a time where things were going this well for those two franchises at the same time? And I thought about some of the great Eagles seasons, 04, right? Phillies aren't in the pit, they're not to the point where they're making the playoffs yet. 08, the year the Phillies win the World
They
Series.
did just get Citizens Bank Park that year, though.
That's
right?
a
That was
big
pretty
thing.
cool.
That's a
What
big
year?
thing.
04, isn't it?
04?
Isn't it?
Yeah.
But, you know, doesn't make them good.
I think 03 was the last season. No, it doesn't make them good, but
Right.
at least it might have been exciting.
Yeah, an exciting
something.
thing. But, you know, that didn't last.
Hey,
you know.
listen.
If they have a new stadium and they suck, well, they
Right,
still suck.
especially towards the end of the year.
But if you look at 08, right, that's the year the Phillies obviously won the World Series. I looked back at that year because the Eagles did go to the conference championship game, but they were 2-3 to start the season, which is great. You know, it was a great effort by them. But you know, you're not in October with two teams that are just like kicking ass. And so my point is, I couldn't think of a good time where it's been this exciting. I mean, can you think? I know, Meech, what did you say? Something about the Sixers or something?
01, when the Eagles were doing really good, the Sixers started off 10-0, and that was that was the winter time.
But
so
you
that
know
was,
what the big difference there is? Because the playoffs for baseball are in October. You know what I mean? 10-0 is one thing, but with them in the playoffs, I remember one time, for example, this was during the World Series. You remember the time when the Eagles played? I think the Eagles played the Giants during the day, and then they played the Yankees in the World Series that night. Actually, did the double dip.
That was the
went to both of
Winston
those.
Justice game. Am I misremembering that?
You know what? I don't remember the Winston Justice game off the top of my head, but that's nice knowledge by you.
Where they got sacked, McNabb.
Oh yeah, that's right. He just let everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was cool where you could go to both, but the Eagles weren't any good at that moment, right? And so I just think in looking at it historically, this could be like the best October that we've had in a really long time.
I mean, it pretty much already is the best October we've had in a long time, and we've still got a long way to go. As of taping today, we just won against the game one against the Braves, according to what we've seen right now.
Right.
By the time this airs, game 2 will have been played, and hopefully that's a Zach Wheeler 7-inning pitch, no runs given up, and easy 3-0 win. But for the time being, all we've seen is game 1.
Right.
But I mean,
And who
is
pitches
there
after,
is there a better way to start, especially a 5-game series? Like, we lucked out playing the games Braves in 5 games. If this would be a 7-game series, I still wouldn't be that confident because they're very good, and we're going to have to leave our pitchers out there for a long time. But the way we started against the Braves, it can't be any better. It's guaranteeing us two Phillies home games if necessary.
Yeah, who pitches after Wheeler? Who's after him in the
Nola.
rotation? How's he doing? Is Nola doing good?
Yeah, he pretty much redeemed. Now, this is how crazy baseball is. Last week, I sat here and I acted like I love when people like me act like Nola has to prove something to me. Like, it's so
So
funny.
he did
Yeah.
this.
Well, no, September Nola is a thing.
Right.
We haven't forgotten.
Yeah, listen, I can't stand Nola. I'll be honest with you.
Why?
Because
Like as a
I always
person or a player?
No, as a player, I always thought he came up small, and it was just always the game. He'd give up 6 runs. And you're like, what are you doing, man? And it always happened. But I did say he's never been in the playoffs, so I just want to see him in the playoffs. And like, this is funny that what I said proved me wrong. Like, who the fuck am I to where he's going to prove me wrong? He's a professional athlete, but.
You wanted to be proven wrong. Or did you?
Man, that start against the Cardinals was incredible. It was just
So he
It was
won.
unreal.
He won on Saturday, right? And then if he wins on,
I don't mean to cut you off, but last week I was complaining about him, and I was complaining about Castellanos sulking in the.
Everyone was complaining about Castellanos, right before this game.
And now
then
those are
he
2 of
went
my
off.
favorite people on
Right.
planet Earth.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy.
I
how
told you that
things change.
Castellanos, he was just like, we didn't do anything yet. What are you guys celebrating for? We didn't accomplish anything.
This was Rock's theory on
Yeah.
why Castellanos was not a part of the celebration, because he was like, yo. And
He was literally sulking in the corner.
He might be right, though. He was waiting. He was saving his energy to come out and perform the way he did.
Exactly.
In game
He's
Well,
like
I
that
asked
Kobe
my friend
mentality.
who's a reporter, and she was in the locker room when they were doing, I think, when they first clinched the playoff spot, like even before the Cardinals game when he was sulking, and she said he was mad that he didn't contribute enough. So clearly it's been on his mind.
I like that. I like that
Yeah.
mentality.
Yeah. I like
then
it
the
too.
follow-up has got to be, okay, well, let's say the Phillies are lucky enough to, get through this series and assume he does anything like he did in game 1. Is he going to be like is he going to be the Kyle Schwarber of the champagne ceremony? That's what I'm looking for.
Have you ever seen Nick Castellanos in interviews? Because he's a man of very few words. I don't see him lead. But he could be like a Jalen Hurts, who doesn't say a lot in interviews, but then we see his locker room speeches, and he has like all this energy and personality. So
It's kind of a shame. Like when Castellanos first came here, there was like all these cool like images of him, with his chucks on and the tattoos, and I was like, this is a different cat. And everyone's like, oh, you're gonna love this guy. The clip of him like leaning over the guy. at
Even
home
his
plate.
opening, what was the press conference? He's like, I don't get paid to. He said, I didn't go to school. I get paid to hit homers or something. Like he's all business.
Yeah, so-
and then he
I
sucked
forgot
all
about
year.
that. Yeah.
It would
But I
be-
forget. It's cool now. All's forgiven, Nick Castellanos.
And you guys remember early on, people were talking about we might set records with the amount of guys that can hit homers in a lineup. Hopefully that's all coming to fruition. I think what we saw in this first game, and hopefully we see tomorrow night, the situational clutch hitting was unbelievable.
Yeah.
And that was really the difference because the Braves had all these 3-2 counts we were getting out of them. But they're obviously hitting their stride, and it's a great time to be a Phillies fan. But huge things happening in Bird's world too. And
Wait, I got a question before we move on. So if Nola has a
by the way,
good,
this guy in his interest in baseball has multiplied.
I'll
each
watch
week.
both games. Yeah, I was watching the baseball game at work today on my little cell
Oh,
phone.
look at you.
Yeah, man.
You out, man.
Yeah. But if Aaron Nola has a good game tomorrow, they win
Friday.
or whatever it is. Are you going to bring him back? Or are you still?
He's already back.
Yeah, he's back. I mean, he
did
no,
what he
Meech,
wanted.
he won a playoff game.
Yeah,
Meech is going to the game Friday. He's excited for it. He's going to be Nola's number one
I got
fan.
tickets.
How'd you
today.
get those tickets, man?
Don't worry about it. Some nice fella.
You got him from one of my sources.
Listen to this. Some guy on. I got in. They were releasing playoff tickets randomly on Phillies.com today. So I was in there just refreshing, trying to get them, and they'd pop up, and I'd hit add to cart, and it would say, these were taken already. They're in the cart for 20 minutes. Well, finally, I got one ticket, and I got it in my cart. And I tried to check it, I put it on Twitter. I got 18 minutes to decide. I'm like, fuck it, I'm going to buy this ticket. It was $110 for one ticket. I went to buy it. It says I wasn't in Philadelphia. Like my credit card.
Did you use your bot? Did you use your bot while you were doing that?
No, I don't think Ticketmaster messes with bots. They'll get you. I think it's like illegal for them. But anyway, I think it was because I was on my work VPN when I tried to do it, so it didn't think I was in Philly. Well, afterwards, some nice fellow on Twitter, I don't want to mention his name. I don't know if but he DMs me. He says, listen, I'm going to a wedding this weekend. I'm going away, and I have 2 extra tickets, and they're yours if you want them, man. I go, you're
This
a goddamn
is the power
man.
of the internet.
And then he texts me at the DM he sent me back was hilarious. He goes, thanks for all the B- content on Twitter. like such a great line. Like, thanks, man. It's literally the least I could do.
What you just said, the story you just told, encapsulates the beauty of the internet and the power of engaging randomly with people you don't know through the words that you put out into the universe. That's a beautiful story.
And then when he transferred the tickets in the comment text, he just wrote "said."
Who you taking?
That's amazing.
Who you going to the game
I've
with?
gotten, not for the playoff game, but I've gotten Phillies tickets from someone from from TikTok. Literally just DM'd me and was like, hey, I have season tickets. I like your content. I think it's funny. Do you want these 2 tickets to these games? And I was like, yeah. I didn't have to pay for them. It's amazing.
Rock,
People are nice.
that was definitely going to happen to you if you had been able to.
No,
stay
so
on
once I
Twitter
get my
long enough.
Twitter popping again, I'm sure there's going to be all types of DMs saying, "Yeah, Rock, you want to go to the game with me?" And I'll go.
That's why you were suspended. Too many people were offering.
Probably, I don't know,
Yeah.
but
Right.
yeah, that's the thing. I'm like the ticket guy. If anybody has extra tickets, I'll take them. I'll
Okay,
go.
so you know what? I want to skip ahead in the program that I had in my mind for how this was going to go because you guys triggered something. This whole ticket, planning around these games. I'm going right into knock it off, okay? And I don't care if this was Meech's segment. I want somebody to knock it off.
This is copyrighted by City Pigeons. This isn't just me.
Yeah,
What's
we
mine
own
is
it.
yours.
No one's ever used the words knock it off for anything like this before, so we're totally fine. We own this. But, recently with these games, right? They're coming out. You don't know what time the damn games are, right? We're trying to plan our lives.
Well, I mean, not to cut you off, but I bought these 2 tickets today without even knowing what time the game was going to be, and it was kind of annoying, but I had already taken off work.
They
so
got
I
to
didn't give a shit
look.
anyway.
I don't know who. This isn't Major League Baseball, right? Because it's probably the network.
It's Rob Manfred. I blame everything on that friggin' Rob. He's the
Okay,
worst
hold on.
commissioner
Devin-
sports has ever seen.
Devin has got to be an expert on this. I need you to talk to me. I mean, I think I get it, right? Okay, let's take Friday, for example. They're giving us, a 4:30 game, right? And there's one other game that night, right, which is going to be Dodgers, whoever, okay? And so they're basically trying to double dip on the East Coast primetime market, essentially, right?
Right.
Like they want to make sure the West Coast game is in primetime. And it's all about the ad revenue. Am I seeing this correctly? Is that what it's all about, or am I getting it wrong?
It depends on their broadcast deal. So MLB is now, well, I don't know. Because I don't know if they're team by team because it's sometimes Fox, but then ESPN and ABC. But a lot of, most of the time it's up to the
Yeah, the
league to
networks
decide
really
that.
control
That's my
all
point.
The network, yeah.
The deal, whatever deal they have.
Yeah, the national, ESPN primetime games.
They get to pick.
They get to pick that. But with the NFL, people are always blaming the NFL, especially with the late Thursday night football matchups that we've had, and that's coming up. And they're but that's not the NFL. That's usually what's Thursday night on, or Amazon, whatever.
Amazon Prime.
So yeah, it just depends. But the MLB, I think, is interesting because they're constantly trying to attract younger, newer fans. And then they're here's a playoff game at 1 p.m. on a Tuesday. And we're not going to tell you what time the rest of the games are until the other game is underway. It makes no sense.
It's just unbelievable. And look, I I don't have 5 kids like Meech does. I got 2 kids.
Oh, wow, you're
and that's, I got 5 kids. Can you imagine? I mean, like,
Jesus
I have 2
Christ.
kids.
That's my reaction, too.
The logistics of it, right? Fridays, Saturdays, in the fall, we're back into the swing of things. You got all these events. You're trying to tell people what you can and can't do, and they're throwing these 4 o'clock games, these 2 o'clock games, and they're not telling us to the very last minute. They need to knock it off with that, because that's messing up my personal schedule. It's going to cause conflicts within my family. You know, I told my wife I could do this, get together with the friends.
You know what? Just deal with it, buddy. Just deal with it, like everyone else.
Well, you know,
No, I'm not just going to deal
But
with
they're
it.
not dealing with it. I actually tweeted because, like, I don't mind. Like, I work from home. I can watch a 1 p.m. game. My job is also to literally, like, cover the Phillies in sports. So, like, I'm able to watch it, and I'm lucky in that. But, like, so many people are complaining about the 4:30 time and the 1 o'clock time being like, well, people have work. People have work at 8 o'clock at night as well. Like, there's everyone's going to have work at some point or the other.
I
with
was
these
complaining.
games.
Listen,
Yeah, you were complaining about the 4:30.
4:30
I love
start.
the 4:30
No,
start.
it makes no
on a
sense.
Friday.
On a Friday,
I'm down with that.
a happy hour baseball
Yeah.
game.
Yeah, that's
Who
cool.
wants
I like that.
Okay,
Now,
but to, like,
tomorrow night,
come on,
me
you guys
and
are
Rock
being
have a
ridiculous.
playoff game at 8 o'clock,
There you
so
go.
we can't
6:45 start.
we
with
can't
they
mess
got their
around.
own men's league basketball playoff game, which they wouldn't miss for Game 7 of the World Series, right?
Now, but I
might
get
sit
to
that one out.
listen to the end of the Phillies game while I'm driving into the. It'll psych me up for the basketball.
Let me
game.
say this, though.
There's
I think
playoffs, baby.
Your point, I have to take issue with your point about, you know, there's no good time for everybody. Okay, but there's not some, like, mass. If they had scheduled the Phillies game for 7:30, any of these nights, there's not going to be a massive outcry. People like, this is ridiculous. They scheduled this game at 7:30. Like, it's not the same.
Right, I think
Yeah,
that would be
7:30 is okay.
generally accepted. But when there's a New York team in the playoffs, they're going to get the 7:30 spot.
Well, and then meanwhile, you have like ESPN
Bullshit.
cutting in with Aaron Judge every
Yeah,
time he was about
right.
to hit that record. So I guess it just depends. But yeah, Phillies.
They want New
haven't
York,
gotten
they want
that.
LA.
Yeah.
It's
I just
the
think
way
it's
it is.
bullshit, and I'll tell you why. I am a guy who likes to gather people together and get really excited about things, really anything. That's why
And-
we're gonna do this tailgate again on Sunday, which I'll talk about in a minute. But when you give me a game at 1 o'clock on Tuesday in the middle of what is already an epic playoff, I can't mobilize around that. You know what I mean? If you give me a 7 o'clock game, what can I do? I can make a weekend night out of a weekday night and just be like, oh, guess I didn't need to, you know.
I hear where you're coming from with
here,
that one. I
but
hear where
the
you're coming
Phillies
from.
were in the playoff. Guess I didn't need to have my
I hate-
friends
I hate
invading
being
my
a
house
dude
on
to-
weekday.
Yeah,
Phillies
but
in
today
the
it was
playoff.
like, I guess I could have done work and be productive, but I just watched the Phillies.
Right,
all
but you know how many
afternoon.
people watched it like half in and half out, right?
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
working.
Like, I
That's
was
not-
half in.
Yeah, that's not any way to watch a game.
Yeah.
That's not. I didn't enjoy.
But that's
it.
why, like, 4:30 on a Friday, no one's
with-
working at that time anyways.
Totally cool.
You
5
go get
o'clock
drinks,
somewhere.
and then it's done in time. Like, the 8:30 game on Saturday, I thought was too late. I saw your grandma saying that.
I
but,
hear
like,
you. I don't think
late.
anything should start after 8 o'clock. I'm with you on that.
Did you watch
4:30
the
on
game
Sunday, Friday stinks.
No, it
stinks.
doesn't. What's
What
your
about
issue
stinks?
with
It
it?
stinks.
These
Why?
championship games, these NCAA championship games that start at 9:30. Now
Yeah,
that's just.
no.
I mean, that's absolutely ridiculous. It should never happen. Well, look, I got my knock it off gripe. Out of the way.
Wait,
Do you have
what?
something?
What is your issue with 4:30 p.m. games?
On a Friday?
On a Friday, yeah, the
People
Friday.
have to get
like, I get on
done
a
work.
Tuesday.
You got to like.
What are you doing?
You got to get home. No,
What are
I
you
hear you
doing
a
at
little bit.
4:30 on a Friday?
Traffic is terrible at 4:30 on a Friday, by the way.
Exactly.
Traffic is
Traffic's
awful.
terrible.
Awful.
School's getting
You have
out
to
traffic. You got to pick up kids from school
Yeah.
at 3.
children?
So you have to
3:30.
listen
I
to
did not
Scott
have
Franzke
children.
and Larry Anderson for 2 innings.
Fink has to
Suck
pick
it
up
up.
3 of Meech's kids.
I live 2 blocks away from them. It's part of the
I would be hitting you up. Fink, can you pick up my kids? Man, I'm busy.
I think Friday at 4:30 is also like a big high school football time.
No, it's like
Back
7
seat.
o'clock.
That
on
takes a
Friday.
back seat.
Friday at 4:30. What high school's playing at 4:30?
That's what we. That's something we used to play. The Interact used to be at 4:30.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Our
We didn't
games
have
were
night games.
Yeah.
What was that, freshman?
You know why we didn't,
didn't
have
have
night
night
games?
games, no.
Devin, you know why we didn't have night games?
Why?
Guess. Because
I
we had
don't
to
know.
study. We had to get done our
Nerds.
we had to get done our sports, then we had to get back and we had to
Nerds.
hit those books.
Yeah, I studied hard, man. After those football games, after getting hit in the head, I was studying real hard.
CTE.
I definitely got a little bit of CTE.
What are
All
we
right.
talking about here?
That's the fun of it, when you have to stop and say, what are we talking about? Well, I don't know if anybody noticed, and let's get a good shot of this.
What do you got?
You know you've arrived when you have your own branded cups.
Oh, check this one out too.
We got
though.
branded cups.
Damn.
And let's just show you here because these branded cups are thanks to the presenting sponsor of the City Pigeons Podcast, the Good Heart Law Firm, Philadelphia's best personal injury firm. Should you injure yourself, you need to call Mark Goodhart because he is...
First, you should go to the doctor or the hospital. Then you should call Mark Goodhart.
Depends on the severity of the injury. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
But
maybe you want to call him first.
Maybe you should call him
Or
first.
on the way to the hospital,
Yeah,
in the ambulance.
He might advise you, there might be certain doctors that you want to go to because they're like, oh, this looks terrible. No, I'm just kidding.
Can we pull the curtain back a little bit and say, hey, Mark, what the hell should we do? In case you were wondering, Mark's in the studio
Mark is
tonight.
Here, studio audience. God bless this man. Look, he provided us with these wonderful cups. We thank him for all his support. He's going to be down at our tailgate on Sunday. And on that note, let's give another plug for the tailgate on Sunday. If you're not aware, if you've been living under a rock, not watching the City Pigeons podcast, you should be doing that. But thank you for joining us for this one. We got a tailgate going on. Birds of a Feather Part 2, Episode 2, whatever you want to call it. We're running it back in the M lot, 4 o'clock on Sunday, okay? We've got the usual suspects. Federal Donuts is going to be cooking chicken in the parking lot.
That's confirmed? They're cooking?
They're going to be cooking it
Sizzling down there?
Boom. They're going to be feeding it right to you. Fink's Hoagies, right? Did you had a Fink's Hoagie
I
today?
did. I had my first Fink's hoagie, and
And?
it was everything I dreamed it would be. It was very good.
Wow.
And wait, can we be
I'm
honest?
using that for advertisement.
She literally said, "This is one of the
Take
best
down
things
the
I've ever
best
had."
of Philly sign from
I'm
your
not just
window and
saying
put that
It-
quote up.
It's really good.
Yeah. So there you go. You heard it here. Fink's Hoagies.
Can
is
you
back.
pan over to the hoagie tray?
Yeah, we got.
And I'll be on time
over
this
there.
time for
Check
the
that out.
tailgate.
Dan, check that out. Fink brought us some hoagies because he's a man. And we got our buddies at Kenwood Beer hooking it up, serving us up with some beer.
Shout out
Also,
Kenwood.
special announcement, a friend of the program, Dan Greenberg, great friend of Rock and I for many years. He's bringing
Shout out, Dan.
a case of double-oaked Woodford Reserve.
Keep that down.
bourbon
Keep that down. Keep that down.
So,
Dear
to be
Lord.
honest, that will not last long, okay? Because this is the kind of thing you put a couple. I mean, some people like it neat. Some people like it with a couple rocks.
Some people like it in their bladder to take into the game.
Well, let's not get into that. That's a ninja move. But no, if you want a taste of the double oaked Woodford Reserve, you're going to need to get there on the front end of this thing. Starts at 4. And I also want to announce one last announcement. We are partnering with the Make the World Better Foundation.
Who?
The Make the World Better Foundation. This is the foundation started by former Eagle Connor Barwin.
You know,
Nice.
every morning I wake up, that's my goal, to make the world better. That's my
Guess what?
only goal.
Here's the beautiful thing. If you come to the tailgate, we're going to have what's called a pay
Why
what you
you
want
laughing?
fundraiser, which means, hey, I'm coming down here, I'm getting Federal Donuts chicken, I'm getting Fink's Hoagies, I'm getting Kenwood beer, double oaked whiskey, I don't know what else you could get, it's beautiful. I'm getting a live podcast, I'm going to make the world better by paying whatever I want, $10, $20, $50,
$5,
$1,000, whatever you want
That
to do.
goes right to the foundation.
That's going right to the foundation. And the foundation, for anybody that doesn't know, is building different types of public parks throughout the Philadelphia area, revitalizing parks and rec facilities, places where kids spend a ton of their time, safe places for kids to play. It's a wonderful foundation that I happen to work for.
I might donate to
Side
that right
story.
now, man. How
Yeah,
do I
we're
do
going
that?
to throw the link up on City Pigeons, but you got to register through Eventbrite for this, right?
Damn right. So we set this up so that we can make sure we understand how many people are coming, because I got to tell my buddy Tom how much chicken.
Yeah,
he's
they
gonna
need
have
to
cook.
know how much chicken to bring. Kenwood needs to know how much beer to send
Right.
over.
We ran out of beer last time.
Yeah, we ran out of beer.
Everything.
I
We ran
said
everything.
to all of them unlimited, but they were like, that's not how it works apparently. So anyway, we may have to cap it. I don't know. Point is, register through the Eventbrite link that we're going to have up on the screen and that you can get through at City Pigeons Pod on Instagram, on Twitter, and make sure you come down because obviously,
Good
let's
time.
bring it back to the Eagles. Massive, massive game. And
That was a tight one.
that was a tight one there. It was so funny. They showed the kicker like missing all those kicks, and they did the exact same thing.
Yeah.
But look, I thought that game was going to be a bit of a trap.
You see the
game.
dude? You see the dude?
The kid
see
with
the
the
dude on
fan?
TikTok who put the fan next to the TV.
That was so
And
perfect.
again, can we just talk about the beauty of the internet? You take your fan and hold it up to the TV. The Eagles like reposted that. You know what I mean? So, if you're at home, you should be thinking as you're watching the game, like, how can I create some special content that the Eagles will share? But you're with me. Like, thought it was a trap game.
I thought it was a trap game for sure. It was close. I was really stressing at the end, as I'm sure every Eagles fan was. But I think it was also necessary. Like, I do think it speaks to how good the Eagles are because they played their worst game of the season. And at this point, when you're 5-0, 4-0, like when teams play you, they're going to bring it because they know, like every team now wants to be the team, especially the Dallas Cowboys, that wants to unseat the undefeated team, the one undefeated team in the league.
And they had it. They had us. They had their chance.
Right. Yeah, they brought it, but like I'm so sick of seeing people say like the Cardinals lost more than the Eagles won. I totally disagree because the Eagles played their worst football of the season. The Cardinals were trying to win. I think they played one of their best games of the season and the Eagles still found a way to win. I'm really glad that last kick missed. Also, I know it wasn't an official block. He didn't actually get hands on it, but like Milton Williams kind of had his hand on that ball.
Yeah, they showed
I seen
the
photo.
replay.
Let's find the photo.
It's close. I mean,
It was
you
strange
almost
the way
have to get a hand on it to
didn't
make
touch-
it go.
if he didn't touch
It
on
looked like
it,
a right
yeah.
turn.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
veered. That's interesting.
Did
See
have
if we
some
can pull
angles.
that up, Fink, so we can take a good look at it with our own eyes.
And now I love that Jalen Hurts' worst game of the year ended in a game-winning drive. like,
right.
That last drive was incredible.
the fourth down
And by the
pass
way,
to
I
Goddard
actually-
was unreal. I mean, the third down, the third. And,
That was game-saving,
Yeah,
the
it was
third,
unreal.
I
He's
heard
getting
someone on the
blitzed.
radio today. I think they
Cool
were a
as
Giants
shit,
fan.
Jalen
They were
Hurts.
talking about how if you look at his numbers, he hasn't thrown that many touchdowns. He was completely ignoring like how many rushing touchdowns
Right.
he has. But you know what the biggest one of the biggest things that I've seen from the team, which is huge, is the ability to have those 8-9 minute drives like that. You can change a game.
Yeah.
You can possess the ball.
Didn't the Cardinals only have the ball 3 times in the second half or something like that? I think I remember hearing
Next
that.
level
Seemed like
stats
it.
coming from Rocky over here.
Yeah.
Well, but I think like it says a lot to also clock management, which like under Andy Reid, I guess we weren't accustomed to as Eagles fans. But and I don't know if that's Nick Sirianni, Shane Steichen, Jalen Hurts, like whoever deserves the credit there, maybe all three. But yeah, like great clock management, even just like running the ball and keeping it on
Yep.
that last drive.
You know what I think, honestly, is a source of good clock management? It's a coach who's not calling the plays. Meaning, Andy was calling the plays, I think, for the majority of his time here. Nick was initially, but he gave it off. Think about it. If you're calling the plays, man, you got to think ahead. That's all you can really think about. You probably got, and I don't know this, to be honest with you, how many people are in your ear in the headset. That's got to be really hard.
Speaking
But-
of, go ahead.
You know what I'm saying? If you're not calling the plays, you can think ahead. I would think, and you can manage that time. And so, if I was a coach, I would definitely do that. Plus, if things went wrong, then I could just throw the offensive coordinator.
I was going to say,
bus.
speaking of clock management, that play by Kyler Murray at the end, that was some piss poor clock management
Yeah.
there.
Like
it's
he knows
funny.
how to
I mean?
slide, and he just slid like a
What are you
foot short.
doing,
It's
man?
great.
I kind of
But
feel
it's that kind of shit that, like, it's when you look back on a season, you're like, you remember that? That's
Yeah.
Like, it's the same thing going on with the Phillies, man. It's just things are clicking, things are happening. Like, when's Nick Castellanos make that sliding catch? When's Kyler Murray make that stupid mental error? When does that kicker kick it? I mean, it's everything's going right, and I'm loving it right
You know
now.
what
I'm not. I don't
reminds me
want to
of?
jinx it.
I'm in shock.
I'm just riding it
honestly
out.
in shock.
You're-
I am,
I'm
like even
scared.
like especially with the Phillies because it was less than 3 weeks ago. I was on WIP
remind
talking
me.
about how like the Phillies probably weren't going to make the postseason and how I was so mad because they were fun to watch for the first season in so long and now they're going to blow it. And now here they are. Like things are coming together and clicking for that team at the right time. And then the Eagles are 5-0. Like
So-
with all the Jalen Hurts debate leading up to the season, who would have thought?
You just brought it full circle for me because I came to the conclusion that we talked earlier about my kind of the voice in the back of my head that's telling me something bad's always going to happen, and what I realized is
What else is that voice telling
It
you?
tells you
Like
a lot
besides
of
sports,
stuff.
what's that?
a lot of stuff. I
What's
can't
that
let
voice
you in
talking
there,
to you
man. I can't
about?
let you in there.
Voice in the back of my head is
on.
telling me, can you pass me another beer,
Therapy
Meech?
here.
The voice in the back of his head says, "Pass him another beer, Meech." Hey, there's some good stuff in there too. You know what I mean? Some of the best thinking, maybe not. I don't
Yeah,
know.
when we put that,
You think I
that
could do it like
sponsorship
remember that
thing out
game
today.
Tapper? Ready?
Yeah, let's go. Let's go.
Oh.
Whoa!
Okay, please
Got
don't
it.
open that by soundboard. That will immediately ruin what we're doing.
We'll put that on the blooper reel if it does
but
happen.
My point is this.
wanna try it again?
I realized there is no point in even, and I know I can't do this, but like thinking about it because what's going to happen is just going to happen. There's no way to rationalize Phillies team that looks like absolute dog shit for the last 3 weeks of the season catches fire and goes in the playoffs and wins however many straight games. You know what I mean? I did think the Eagles on paper look like a great team this year, but in the past we've seen dream team, whatever, really great teams turn out to be terrible. So what I realized is you just have fun, show up, turn on the TV and just have a good time, right?
Is that
It's
what you do?
easy.
Is that what
Well,
you do?
I don't
Yeah,
do
right.
that.
You just
I
show
I wish
up?
it was that easy.
I don't do that.
Just
but,
turn on the TV and have a good time. I was literally having heart palpitations in the 5th inning of today's baseball game. Like I shouldn't live like this, but I love it. I love it. It's so much better than watching the Astros and the fucking Mariners play. Like who cares about those teams?
Somebody
When you're watching your own team play in the playoffs, it's so great. I mean,
Yo, I agree. I'm like, you know me, the Phillies loyalist over here. I am, you know. I'm sitting there watching this game at work, and I'm like jumping up, like, yeah. People are sitting around there like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm watching the game.
Like, we just had a great quarter.
What are you doing?
So me personally, I'm not the biggest Phillies fan, but as soon as they get in the playoffs, I'm all in, right? So I'm focused. I watched game 1.
And are you
game 2.
appreciating the drama? And,
I loved it.
It's great,
I loved
right?
every minute of it. Yeah, that was a good one today. I mean,
I
I didn't love.
It's been so long that I think we all forgot Philadelphia, especially like when they won in 2008. I was like a senior in high school.
Me too.
So it's been a really, really long time.
See now, here's a conundrum that I have. I got 2 tickets for this game on Friday. Now
Here he goes again.
I got
these tickets.
Oh, this is so good.
I got two kids, a 13-year-old and a 10-year-old, who would probably and I think I want to indoctrinate them into playoff Phillies baseball. Like they've never been alive for a real playoff game,
Right.
and knew what to expect. And I don't know whether to buy another ticket and take them to, or whether to just like take a buddy and make them watch.
Dude, have them a little knife fight,
I mean, nothing
Nerf
against
gunfight or something.
my kids. I'm not just going to take one of
Well,
them.
the game's
I have to
early
take
enough
both.
that they'll still be awake. You can
So,
like take them
can I-
and stuff
But it's
that.
it's a standing room only seat. It's like it's survival of the fittest. Like they're still at the point in their lives where they want to go to games and they're like,
comfortable.
I want to go to the store and I want to go
that's out.
to
Yeah,
Chicky and
that's out.
Pete's. Now this is playoff baseball. We ain't going to Chicky and Pete's, bro. Like if they get that, I'll take them to the game.
So I can't imagine being in that position because I have a 10-year-old son who's like super into everything. And in the event that I'm able to get tickets to something like this, I immediately am like, am I going to take him and focus on us having a good time, having a bonding moment?
Or am I gonna take
my
Rock?
buddy and turn it into another great epic night, you know, that it's very
Yeah, it's a
difficult.
conundrum.
Having 5 children,
Wait, you got tickets?
can we?
Still can't get over
hey,
that.
what do you think about this? She's still kicking her. I love it.
I have a son's probably as old as
Could we
you.
choose which one goes on the podcast? Like, can we throw darts, like all of us, and whoever?
No, I
we
would
hit
I would
the
never
most?
just choose one. And I mean, I got 5-year-old twins.
But you'll choose
and
2.
They won't care
yeah, they're
if
not-
I don't
yeah.
take them. Like I was leaving after the game ended. I was leaving to the podcast to come today with the Phillies jersey on, and that they're like, "Daddy, where are you going to the Phillies game?" I'm like, "No, dude, it just ended. They just won." Like you should have been watching it with me. What are you doing?
oldest son is in
And
college.
they're like, "Why are you screaming upstairs, Dad?" I'm like, "Yeah."
And your oldest son is out, and is he still? He's in.
Yeah, he's in
Yeah, so
Pittsburgh.
he's kind of out of the picture. I mean,
Who
come
goes
back.
to Pitt?
No, I guess to Duquesne.
Oh.
Was that
Right up the street from
I
Pitt.
went to Pitt.
Yeah, you went to
Yeah.
Pitt.
I mean,
yeah.
Duquesne's a half a block away.
Yeah. No
So,
issue
but he's
with
out of the
Duquesne.
equation. So it's the other.
Yeah, I don't think he'll be able to make it up here. So it's either I got to buy another ticket, which will probably cost me a few hundred, or I just take these 2, or I could just.
I think this is an easy decision because
I think you take a buddy who's like
Yeah.
on a podcast with you. Let's go blocks away.
Who sits in a tank during our
Might get you a
podcast?
hoagie on the way.
I'll give you $100. So let's
you know,
talk
there's a
about this.
financial component to this, right? You take a buddy. It sounds like you're pretty much in the same place. You know, you bring the kids. You got to invest more. So, I'm not saying you. Anyway, it's not.
Thanks for listening to my my inner thoughts.
We are
on
here
deciding who to take
to
the
help
game.
you work
Thank
through these problems. Okay, I do want to get back.
Nobody has given me an answer or helped me in any
No.
way. Though.
Bring your friend.
Yeah.
Boom.
Named Fink.
His kids.
I just
watch
gave you
this
an answer
sometimes.
too.
You know
Meech,
that,
what do you
right?
mean?
I'm sorry to your children.
No, you don't have to apologize to my children. They're
doing
great
well.
kids.
Meech will have to.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
They're rating his supply of Jordans and Nikes as we speak, right?
Yeah, they get enough from me.
Oh, you bought them.
Oh, Meech is going buddy now. He's thinking about it.
So actually, that brings up something that I want to talk about because you are, I think, a bit of an expert here in the gambling world, right? With the sports and the bets, and you know what I mean. You're in on this, right?
Yeah, I mean, I make content and
Right.
do a few shows when it comes to it. I don't know if I would ever call myself an expert. That's what's so crazy.
Do you put out picks for people, or do you like
Yes.
stop? Oh, you do.
Yeah, I actually co-host
Whoa.
this NFL sports betting show every Sunday morning, and every time I'm asked about like betting content or like creating betting content, I'm like, it's so crazy. Like, how am I? And even with my co-host, like, how are we experts? And people just like listen.
Yeah.
to our picks. Honestly, sometimes they're good. The past 2 weeks have not been great for me, but
like every other gambler on there.
I hear these the people on the radio or whatever that run these businesses where you can call in and they're like, yeah, well, after last week, we're getting back on the horse. Like people pay you like for this. It's one thing if you got a show and somebody watches.
How many people are really paying for that?
That's a lot. They're paying, dude.
Really?
That's the way I look at what Meech does, because Meech will throw you something and you take it, whatever. You know what I mean?
I threw our former guest Pat Gallen texted me on Sunday morning. He's like, "Yo, Meech, you got anything?" Yeah. I sent him a play. He's like, "I like it," but he
tweaked it.
He tweaked it. Put it down a little. He won.
Wait, I did that same thing to you last week. I did the same thing to you last week with the what game was that? It was the Monday night game. Yeah.
Thanks, Rob.
So
thank you. Now before my show on Sunday.
You should. That's like those commercials with like Jamie Foxx.
I'm pretty good.
Texting everyone, asking for their advice. So what we've learned is Meech either gives bets that will win or that you need to slightly modify based on your own intuition to win. So he's in the ballpark.
I put a bet in last week for $25 and I won every single one. It was like an 8-leg parlay with all wide receivers, and the only one I lost was Amon-Ra St. Brown, who's a great receiver, but he was injured, and I didn't know he was on a snap count. I swear to God, if I knew that, I would have left him out, and it would have probably won like $5,000 on a $25 bet.
Sharps would have known that. Now,
Nice.
Fink, didn't you hit some recently, I think?
I had a nice parlay this weekend, yeah.
You want to talk
$10
about it?
to win like $500.
Tell us about it a little bit.
Just a little $10 to win 500 bet, nothing much.
$10 to 500.
Jesus. He acts like it was an everyday thing.
I never had this.
It was $14.50. I apologize.
All right.
6-leg parlay.
Wait, $10 and you won $14.50?
No, $14.50
to win 500.
And he won 500.
Oh, okay, still impressive.
Yeah.
I made a
I'm just
mistake.
a genius. It happens.
You are a genius. I understand that. I put
That's
too
lunch
much
money.
on A.J. Brown. I was relying on the
Yeah, what happened to him after the first couple drives? Like, he just disappeared.
They just wanted to run the ball.
They just wanted.
I mean, not like I care. They won.
I mean, game.
He has so many screen passes. By the way, how many times did Devontae Smith get absolutely rocked?
Oh my God! And every time I have a heart attack.
Yeah, he weighs like 120
So
pounds.
small, man.
Okay.
When he returned a punt, not in this last game, but what was it, like 2 games ago, I had a heart attack. I'm like, what does he do? Why would they ever do that to him?
But here's the thing. We just said they ran. I mean, how many screen passes did they run? I mean, it's a
the
lot
screen passes got a little.
A lot of them to Goddard, but like after you've seen him get destroyed, like maybe you roll back on that a little bit.
But you know what? Growing up playing football as a little guy, you know how to take hits, you know how to fall, you know where to fall, you know when to fall. Look at Deshaun Jackson, Marvin Harrison.
This is when I got to call you out.
What are you talking about?
I know you might have been a little guy playing high school football.
I'm not talking about me at all.
That's not the equivalent of being
What are you talking about?
170 pounds in the NFL and getting hit the way Devontae Smith.
Yeah, but Devontae Smith's a tough motherfucker.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
He's not just a.
Yeah, he is. Tell him, Meech. Talk that shit. Talk that shit.
There's something. I'm telling you, there's something to knowing how to get hit, where to get hit. I mean, you can't. Obviously, you can't help if you just get like
if I was
smacked.
out there, I'd be go.
But like,
go down.
Like, how often did Deshaun get hurt?
Yak, forget Yak.
Deshaun was like probably the smallest dude ever, right? How often? He was never hurt.
Yeah, but that's because he was not
Someone's
going over
hurt
the middle,
often.
dude. He was going deep. You know?
Yeah. Marvin Harrison,
Also,
he was a little guy.
Who?
Marv? Oh.
Don't take those.
Watch out now. All right, Quez.
You know why he never got hurt?
I thought Quez.
Shout out Marv, Philly great.
I thought Quez Watkins died on that play too. You know what I mean? In the end zone there, that was a rough play. But
That was
Yeah, we
a
got to
good
keep
play
our
call.
players alive.
we got to keep our players alive.
The quarterback,
But to your point,
most
we have A.J. Brown, swole Batman, right? Get him the ball. You know what I mean? Because he can take these hits. I hope Devontae's all right for the.
Well,
this
it'll,
game on Sunday.
this
No, I
week will
think
be an
he'll
A.J.
be-
Brown week. He's going to bully Trayvon Diggs. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, and I think receivers sometimes it's really fascinating watching the games with the 3 guys I co-host the post-game show with, but especially Seth Joyner, because he really understands the game, obviously,
not
better
afraid
than
to call
anyone.
him out.
So
We saw
he'll,
that.
I remember Devontae got hit, and I was like audibly was like, no, because I really do have a heart attack every time that kid is tackled. He's so small. And so I was like, no, it looks way worse. It sounded and looks way worse than it was. And then when the replay came around, he was like, look at the helmet. It was just like the helmet's
glanced,
hitting.
yeah.
So watching games with him is eye-opening, and with A.J. Brown, sometimes receivers just have off games, but it just means he'll bounce back on Sunday.
Yeah, but they didn't.
It was like week 1 with Devontae. He didn't catch a ball,
Right, yeah.
and then next week he had 7 catches for It'll be fine.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Not worried.
does the scope of your gambling expertise include baseball as well, or is it more football?
Definitely
It's
football,
harder, right?
mainly football. Baseball,
I don't do baseball.
yeah, it's tough. I think I bet my first ever bet on the Phillies' first game against the Cardinals, and it actually almost hit. It was a parlay. Everything hit except for Kyle Schwarber home run. So I'm still a newbie. Ever since then, I'm afraid. I'm really weird about betting on Philly sports also. Like even when it comes to the Eagles, I'll do anytime touchdown or like I think in the last game I Dallas Goedert over receiving yards. But otherwise, like I'll never do a side. I'll never pick a winner. I'll never do like anything that involves the Eagles winning.
This is what I was interested to hear about from all you guys. As the stakes get higher, right? Like Phillies, these games now are tense.
I'm not touching it.
That's what I'm saying. Like, how do you feel, like Meech? I guess maybe, if the Eagles went deep into the playoffs, it's different, right? It's football. Like, you put a bet on the Super Bowl if the Eagles were in or not. Like, as the stakes get higher, do you get to a point where you're like, you know what? I'm going to take the gambling element out of this. I need to really focus on this thing.
No, because listen, I told
You're
you
dead inside.
I don't.
That's right.
I'm not dead inside. I don't bet on teams.
separate-
I don't
That
take
was
the
me.
team. I just
I know.
take props within the game.
I told her I don't like doing teams. Anything like that.
I
like
think
the props.
it's too nerve wracking. I like
Spreads,
like
I
you
hate.
do props. You could win it in the fourth inning, and then it's over. You can't lose the rest
I
of the
gotta
game.
say that makes a lot of sense because to your point about spreads, like there's nothing worse than watching the spread. Like I was watching the Chiefs Raiders game.
I was
right?
talking to Fink about
the
he-
frickin' Chiefs. Well, first of all, we got a buddy who he has a methodology on this that I think actually makes sense. He waits for games like that where the Raiders go up 17-0. Then he takes the in-game bet odds on the Chiefs to win. Like that happened the other day with the Chargers and the Browns. Did the same thing, right? When you see that team roll out to that 17-0 lead, and the Chiefs ended up winning. But there was a moment at the end of the game, they were up 7, the spread was 7, they went for 2, missed it. You know what I mean? And it really sucks. Like the points thing over, under, is kind of a crappy way to watch a game.
That's
I would
why
say.
I no longer bet teams because too much weird shit could happen with the point spread. It's
Yeah, you
and
get the
they're
late
so
game. What about
they're
the
so
intentional
sharp.
safety at the end
but
of the
they're
game?
so
Oh.
sharp with those. Like they're so
so good.
good at
How?
predicting them.
I had no
but
idea.
I had
if
a
you check
parlay-
the player props within the game, they lighten up. They
I had a
don't pay
parlay
as
lose
much
because
as
I had
attention.
the Eagles minus 5.5 today, or on Sunday would have been a $600 hit, and that was the only one I lost. It was, I'm with Meech. I'm not doing the spreads anymore.
It's tough. But I remember it was so funny. You had a tweet that was like, I can't believe that the only bet I used to take was like a team minus 110. Or what was it?
It's so stupid.
Yeah, like when you had to bet off your bookies, you had that crappy situation. Now you got this great risk reward. It's a wonderful thing.
Can bet on everything.
It's a wonderful thing. So one thing that you may not know,
No, I know.
no, you don't know. You don't know. I'm talking to Devin because I happen to.
I thought you were talking
know-
because I know.
happen to know, and you guys from the Northeast, you're not going to know about this, that you're an expert in the game of lacrosse, right? You made your bones kind of working with the National Lacrosse League and the Wings and all that, right? Is that right?
Yes, yeah. I actually still work with them. But yeah, I actually had my master's in journalism. So I worked in like news for a few years, moving around a lot. And then when I moved back to Philly, I moved back because the National Lacrosse League offered me a job to be their host and senior producer. And I was like, okay, like where I'm from Radnor, like lacrosse is big, but this is indoor lacrosse, it's totally different. Like I don't really know that much about it.
Yeah.
And I fell in love with it. It's a really, really cool sport. I started sideline reporting for the Wings and also the league. And
Did you ever meet the Gate brothers?
of course, yes, of course.
Are the Gate
I thought I was
still
gonna-
around?
Yeah.
Are they coaches?
They
Syracuse
have like a line
legends.
of lacrosse
Yeah, they have the
sticks
sticks.
and
You know,
gear.
they came
You
out
know-
like around when we
you
were
know who
like,
else
coming
has a
in.
Just
lot-
back for that Northeast comment too. Holy Ghost Prep and Judge have very good lacrosse
Maybe
teams.
they do.
Okay,
You know who has a line
We
of
used to
lacrosse
special
equipment?
Holy Ghost Prep.
Method
Really
Man.
good.
I think his son is a really good
Method
lacrosse
Man's really
player.
into lacrosse. He like makes appearances at
Yeah.
games.
Can I-
not
can I
even-
just say
I think his
Method Man.
son's a really good lacrosse player. He's got a line of lacrosse gear.
Can I just say something?
Because my friend's
You know
son
who
is
else
a
is?
really
Eli Manning, which I guess is less surprising than Method Man.
Much
but
less.
yeah.
Much less surprising.
his kid, like a lot of these guys,
I could see a
kids are
Manning
taking
playing,
lacrosse
like-
over like football or
Okay.
basketball.
You
Yeah.
just brought you just blew my mind because I was, I went to Penn Charter I was this private school kid who was listening to Wu-Tang playing lacrosse, and the fact that the two might be intertwined is just something I never could have fathomed. So that's amazing.
Yeah, that is wild.
I did
didn't
want
know
to tell you that, I don't know if you know this, but Rock and I, we starred, you call it starred, I don't know how you want to call it, but we were pivotal members of the Penn Charter lacrosse team many years ago. We don't need to get to that. But we did play Radnor once. And let's just say we got the better of them. And,
You won?
I don't remember this game at
you
all.
don't see, but Rocky sustained an injury, so he was out.
Yeah, I got hurt.
But
My
What
senior year.
position did you play?
I played midfield.
He had to pause. He couldn't remember.
Yeah, no, I played
Basque?
midfield.
Did he? No.
No.
He was the
I was a
speedy-
scorer. I was like a.
What did you just call it? The money mix?
Oh yeah, I used to give him the right, left, the moves. But
He was running funny in high school. So he'd be at the top, whack, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? But then what happened when the defense would collapse on you? What did you do?
I'd probably toss it to one of you crease monkeys down there, like yes.
No, I was a
Because-
crease attackman. I had no discernible speed or whatever.
So, but you would have been really good at box lacrosse then. Did you
Right.
ever play box lacrosse?
We did play box one
we
year.
had a team, and the most notable thing about the entire time
Was a fight.
we got a
Oh,
massive
there's a lot
brawl.
of fighting. Yeah.
Massive.
No, there was
brawl.
like a fight between like everybody who
parents
was like
involved.
at
It's
the
great.
Why?
whatever the place was we played out in King of Prussia. There was like something happened after the game, but like there was parents rushing the field and like knocking kids over.
Listen, and we know that you don't care that much about this. But
Whatever.
It's important to us, and it's a connection that we
Wait,
have.
were you there when they had the summer league fight?
Yes, but that was outside.
That was
an
outdoor.
outside.
I was not there for that.
You know what
but-
my move was? I would go up to people with my gloves on that had their helmets on. I would punch them because
Were
there
those
was
the-
no risk.
Oh,
you know?
wow.
It was like,
Were those the only two
Oh,
fights
yeah,
you've been
there
in
you
your
go.
life?
You know, I've been in a couple scraps, but you
Yeah.
know, unlike my gentleman over here, I bet they've been, you know, in much.
Oh, you guys have gone in fights before.
I'm just guessing.
What the fuck?
I'm just guessing.
Why are you guessing that?
Not any
From the
lacrosse
Northeast?
fights.
Yeah, not lacrosse.
I don't even know how to do the thing with lacrosse where you
Cradle.
go like that
Yeah,
and
it's-
it
call that
spins.
cradle.
The ball just falls right out.
Yeah, when you do
So-
it like that, it doesn't. It's not a very flattering move. But if you
So-
get the hang of it, it's pretty good.
Did you play lacrosse in high school? Or?
Briefly, but actually, rowing was my main sport, and that was also at the same time.
Okay.
So switched over to rowing like full time by the time I was a senior. But yeah, I mean, where I'm from, like anywhere in Philly, it's such a big sport. And it's Radnor's really.
You said it's
at
a
least
big sport in Philly
it's
now?
really good.
Yeah, it's grown
Yeah.
tremendously. I mean,
Oh,
they-
yeah.
Yeah,
they're
you know
playing,
what?
like travel across like they did soccer. You know,
I did
It's amazing.
see like so I live in West Philly and I saw like, you know, kids from West Philly just walking down the street
Right.
with like lacrosse gear. I was like,
That was
this
not
is kind of odd,
normal.
but I appreciate it. You know, lacrosse is a great sport.
They did a national
really
championship here a couple of years ago for NCAA.
That's right. They've
I
had
think
it a
like
couple
4 or
times.
5 years ago.
Yeah.
I think lacrosse gets a bad rap. It's like people think that lacrosse is like a soft sport and like
Yeah.
I've heard Jay-Z had a rap lyric something about like lacrosse being a soft
did?
sport.
Well,
yeah.
so I'm a little biased towards box lacrosse because, like I said, when I took that job, I didn't really know what box lacrosse was, and here we're used to field lacrosse, and you also get this stereotypical like lax bro, which
Yeah.
like from the main line, like it's like the
Yeah,
guy
it's
in like the
kinda-
salmon pans, like the
Yeah.
D-bag. And then working in box lacrosse, like
Waffy.
most of our athletes are Canadian. What did you just say?
He said WAFI. it's an acronym that we've developed in the show.
Yeah.
You can
Go
say
ahead.
it, Rocky. It'll feel better if you say
No,
it.
go ahead.
I mean,
Keep
it
your-
sounds like
continue your story.
waspy. I'm assuming it's
Close enough.
similar.
It's white as.
Oh, yeah.
You know, that's where it is.
No, but that,
Right.
same thing.
Right, you get it.
But box lacrosse, it's mostly Canadian and also like Indigenous players, and
yeah, now that's the real shit.
they
Yeah.
are so hardcore, and it's crazy
It's like
to
hockey.
see the different like demographics and just like the way, like in Canada, lacrosse is a blue collar sport, like they're complete hardos, and then you get the few American guys who are good enough to make it into the NLL, and they just get rocked their first
Really?
games back, like they don't know how to hang. So like, yeah, I think field lacrosse can be seen as soft, but box lacrosse is definitely not soft.
Well, yeah, you're getting like there's the boards there. You can get smacked up against the boards. It's way
fight,
more
yeah.
enclosed in a tight
It's like
space.
ice hockey on turf.
But don't think that field lacrosse is soft either. Like we play field lacrosse.
I
I've
think
gotten
field
some of my
lacrosse is
worst
soft.
injuries.
She thinks field lacrosse is soft.
I did. Like I said, I'm
Maybe
biased
the game
now.
has changed.
Whoa,
since
whoa.
we
Maybe the
played
game
rock.
has changed.
It's
It might
just so
have.
much slower too, and it's way less physical.
I've seen people get
Strategic.
rocked in field
Yeah,
lacrosse.
did I mention
like,
Method Man has lacrosse?
That definitely.
Wait, hold on.
Did I ask if you know the Gate
Hold on.
Brothers?
So wait. So when we were in high school, I remember. I'm not gonna tell this. Forget it. This is a little bit too graphic for the podcast.
I think
I'm
Method
gonna
Man's
back
son.
off.
Did I mention Method Man's son?
You can't get into
Plays
any.
lacrosse.
Don't get into any.
Yo,
of our
speaking of Method
stories.
Man, another random fact. One of Method Man's close associates, Redman, is like a crazy skydiver. Did you know that, Meech?
Redman is a sky.
Redman's got like hundreds of skydives under
I
his
think
belt.
you're just talking about the one-shot deal verse from the Beanie Siegel album.
No, Redman's like a legit
I'm gonna be
skydiver.
honest, I think I seen this the other day.
Yeah.
He had like his either like it was a monumental fucking jump that he had.
Yeah, it's like
watch
a
your
100th
mouth.
jump or something like
said
that.
Watch your mouth.
It was
a
I'll
chill.
find it.
Yeah, see, look at Method Man and Redman just doing the alternative
look at it.
lifestyle out there.
You know what? I did see somebody posted a video from a Wu-Tang concert, and it made me like, man, maybe I should go. Because remember, I told you guys.
They
had
still
that-
do concerts.
Yeah,
they're
coming-
touring with Nas.
Everybody's back. Everybody's back.
He's a licensed skydiver.
There you
wish
go.
I would've
See,
went.
look at that.
September 7th, 2022.
Check out his one-shot deal from verse. I think he says something about skydiving. I'll be right back.
Bottom
Look at
line
that,
is,
Redman.
Bottom line is, these guys, these rappers of yesteryear are getting into all types of.
I think that we need to start crossing over into some stuff, and by we I mean my
We
folks,
should.
my people,
Yeah, and you can start
African Americans.
off by
Yeah,
going skydiving.
I'm not
won't
going
be there.
skydiving. That's
I did it
not
once.
what I'm
I'll
doing.
never do it
You
again.
did it?
Yeah.
How'd it go?
21st birthday.
Never do it again.
I survived. So
Like when you landed, were you like, oh hell no, or were you like, hell yeah?
Hell no.
my one ear popped and it was messed up for like 3 weeks.
Oh.
But my thing is like
Survived.
that's all. That's
Yeah, the
one-
parachute
like,
worked, that's all that
That's
matters.
one time. I'll never do
I
it
gotta be
again.
honest with you, that takes me back to like the jumping off the bridge down by Lincoln Drive that was like 40 feet above the water and being like so scared to do that. I could never jump out of a
Yeah, I
plane.
couldn't. Devin, you ever jump out of a plane?
Nope.
Any
No.
interest?
No, I'm a pretty like daring person, but that is one thing that I just have no desire to do it. I'm not necessarily like afraid of heights or jumping out, but
There's
I
no
just
upside
don't really
there.
want to.
What's
It's fun.
what's your outside of being great reporter and host? What else goes on in Devin's life?
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Is there time for anything else?
No.
Yeah.
I thought he was going to
Literally nothing.
What's the craziest thing that you've ever done before?
That's what I thought it was going to. Like,
Give us your wildest story. No, but like what else
yeah.
what can you do?
I actually grew up competitively skiing every weekend, so
What?
I can do that.
Let's go.
Competitive skiing,
We're
like
competitive.
downhill, like
racing every
peekaboo
sin-
street style?
Yes, she was my idol growing up actually.
We are competitive snowboarders, and by that what I mean is we go down the hill and I say to Rock, yo, you see that jump? You should
God.
go off that. And then he goes off it, gets injured, I get it on film, and that's
Yeah,
how
we'll
we
have to clip
operate.
that in. We'll definitely have to clip
Yeah.
that in.
This is a true
Snowboarding
story.
is hard though. Like I think because I grew up skiing, like from the
Yeah.
time I was 3. I don't even remember the first time I went skiing, so it's second nature. And I've literally tried snowboarding twice, and both times I get off. You know, like not even like the hill, like the
Getting
slope.
off the lift.
It
like
can be
off
tough.
the lift.
It's very
it's
dangerous.
fall.
We got a homie.
fall on my
who-
ass, and I'm like, no, I'm done.
It
no
can
more.
be very dangerous. Fink, have you ever been snowboarding before? I want to take you if you haven't been. Have you been?
so not like officially snowboarding, but we
Not
had
official.
a snowboard.
Unofficial
Unofficial
snowboarding.
snowboarding.
Yeah, so we had a snowboard and was like we were going down a hill by my
Yeah, that
house,
doesn't count.
and the first time I
Beach.
actually ever did it, I broke my
I
ankle.
already told you.
I call that
I
sledding.
told
Oh, you broke
you,
your
right?
ankle.
I broke
Oh,
my ankle. I
it's-
was
Wait, hold on.
Can't
You're
do
missing-
anything
you're
where my
missing-
feet are
Wait, you're
on
missing-
something.
He broke his ankle.
I broke my ankle. I had to get screws put in it. So it was
Screws put in?
hold on. So it was also when the Eagles. It was a day before we went to the one to get into the Super Bowl. So like
That
we're
is-
sledded. I decided to get on snowboard. Ankle broke. I'm at the bottom of the hill. My friends don't believe me because I'm me. I talk a lot of shit. They're throwing snowballs at me. They're sledding into me.
They're like, oh, you're
Shake it
fine.
off.
Yeah, I
Your
get
ankle's
home.
like
I get
bent
home. My
backwards.
ankle's like this.
Oh no.
They're like,
But-
walk it off, bitch.
I went to Nazareth. They were like, "Oh, it's a sprain." So I was like, "Whatever."
Whoa.
So-
You got misdiagnosed?
Oh yeah.
You see this guy over here?
Statute of limitations.
Statute of
on that?
limitations?
How many years we
Come
got?
on, man.
17,
Dude,
I
what are
think
you
that's
doing,
it.
man?
That was way longer than that.
Smart
I
enough.
mean, went
Oh, you
way
got
before.
04?
04. Yeah,
Oh,
I was in
geez.
high school.
Yeah, buddy. Good luck.
Ah, shit.
Good luck. Confirming statute of limitations is right on that.
But I ended up getting to Frankfurt and Cotman when we won to be getting the Super Bowl because I'm a trooper. Went up there on crutches in the snow.
Are you serious?
Oh yeah.
Oh, look at this guy.
Okay.
I love my teams.
so don't understand what you just said because you said it was
That must have been the
2004.
Falcons game.
We lost the Super Bowl. You mean the NFC Championship?
Yeah, that's what I said in the beginning.
Championship. Okay. Yeah, we did win that game.
I was there.
Well, I feel good for
I
you.
was there, too,
Well,
on my
I had in my
crutches.
mind this
were at
No, I
amazing.
was at the game.
Listen,
I was at Frankfurt.
I had this
Cotman.
amazing idea in my head that like Dan or Aleko would be like skiing down the mountain, like filming us, like with you guys snowboarding for the first time. but he doesn't do things where his feet are strapped in and you broke your ankle.
I went skiing once. I enjoyed it. I'll do it.
I'll stay in the ski lounge.
Can we get a Devin and Fink go skiing? I feel the content there is going to be fantastic.
Could be dangerous for Fink.
Are you going to yell at me?
It'll be like Jeff Daniels and what's her name from Dumb and Dumber.
People.
I'm not going to yell at you. I just get impatient.
This sounds.
That means she's going to yell.
Oh, listen, and Meech can speak to this, right? When you're trying to teach your kids to do this, because I took my kid snowboarding. He was like 2 years old and like carried him around. You can't, if you're impatient, it's not going to work out well. But I'd love to see you being impatient with him on the slopes. So I think we got to make that happen. The good news is with the ski boot, it's very firm, so it's very hard to hurt your ankle, right?
To hurt your ankle.
You can break your leg at that point.
Your knee can go flying out of socket.
Oh, I wiped out so many times.
I feel like ski injuries.
Helmet first.
Do you see
injuries
this
are way
in your mind
harder.
being as great as I can see it?
Yeah.
I think you do. Look, if nothing else,
She just laughed as she said,
She's like, what am I doing here?
Terrible.
Yeah, at this point, she's like, I thought this was a good idea, and I'm regretting that decision.
No. I'm in. I actually haven't been skiing in a while, so I'll go.
Awesome. We should take him. Have you guys ever been to Spring Mountain before?
No.
Oh, it is this like little mountain. It's probably.
Wait, are we still recording? Like, what's going on here?
We'll go. It's too
Sounds
short.
like
Skating, Meech. What do
We're
you
going.
mean?
I'm just kidding. I'm being an
you're probably
asshole.
right. You're probably right. You know, maybe
I'm
we
just
should-
being an
City
asshole.
Pigeons,
Maybe we should wrap it up. I don't know. I'm just having fun, you know.
It's been
everything's
fun.
great in Philly. We're talking about it. We're talking about skiing.
we're talking about
your personal-
some random shit here.
We're talking about some shit.
Let's get back to
It
business.
always goes off the
Let
rails.
it
It's
Yeah.
the best sports this town has seen in years,
Right.
and we're talking.
Talking about how Fink
So-
broke his ankle on a step-on snowboard.
Which I think is interesting to people. Like it or not.
Screw, man, that
They
hurt.
want to know
Yeah.
what Fink's up to. Okay, so Devin, let's talk about what's coming up for you. Obviously, we got a huge weekend here. Hopefully, Seth Joyner doesn't freak out about the Eagles not being good enough again. I don't know what's going to happen, but what are you feeling heading into this? You got anything cool coming up that you want to tell people about? There's a tailgate. I don't know if you're invited. I mean, I think you're invited, but like, are you going to come? I don't know. You're probably busy.
I would assume she's probably
Oh yeah,
busy.
she got to do the
Come on
show.
now.
She can't come.
I wish I could come. I know. So I so miss
Can you
tailgating.
do a part like on like fans in the lot, maybe? Like
I can try. I can try. So like
That means no.
No, I was saying before the show, like I miss tailgating Eagles games so much. That's like the one downside to actually covering Philly sports in general.
Yep.
So I can try to come by. It's just like getting in and out of those lots is the issue.
Let me tell you, it is not easy, especially
Yeah.
when you're trying to actually set that thing up, and it's warfare in there.
Well, what time are you guys going to start? Because I could come for like the very beginning of it.
I'll probably be there at like 11 or 12 if you want to come by and like hang out.
So that means Fink will be there by what, 2 p.m.
Yeah, right.
I'll be
Meech will
on
be there
time
at
this
5.
time. I'll be there on
5.
time.
Yo, Fink was
I
working
can try to come
hard that
early before
day.
they're packed. It's just like once they get like
By the way,
super packed.
have you seen
out.
his Zubaz pants? Because when he came to the tailgate the first time, he's wearing these Zubaz pants, and let me tell you, that is a look.
Yeah, I thought he was joking when he said that.
But that's an OG item. I have respect for you, Fink, and I wanted you to wear them.
They have beer
Hey, they were
stains on it
pants.
from.
They were
They were
pants.
pants. They were pants. They have beer
Yeah.
stains on them from the Super Bowl run. That's why. Like after I got out of the car, I was like, holy
I love
crap.
that. I love that. But you got to keep that going. You know what I mean?
Hey,
You got to keep
maybe
it going.
we'll wear 'em
So
this week.
anything,
Big week.
Covering the birds all season. Looking forward to that. What else is on the radar for you next couple months?
Flyer season starting for you, right?
Yeah, Flyers.
was
Starts
something?
Thursday.
The actual season.
Yeah, the night
Damn.
where this is broadcasting
I
will be
actually
the Flyers
hope-
opening night.
I actually hope the Flyers somehow are good.
That's what I was saying
were
on the way
saying
here.
that,
Like,
yeah.
what
And they'll
if?
just be like-
yeah, what if like
Yeah.
the coach knocks some sense into them and they just know how to play? Like, what
everybody-
if?
I do like Torts. I think he's
Yeah.
a perfect fit.
Everybody's
really.
piling on. Fink will be the first person to turn around and say Flyers.
Well, that's because
let's
the
go."
Flyers like banned him for throwing
Right,
hot dogs
yeah.
on the ice.
Can we
or
start a
something.
petition?
Don't you
for
dare.
Fink? I've branded it right now. # Fink Flyers Forgiveness or something
Yes,
like that.
yes.
And then
Here, I'm going to be honest. Not until the Flyers apologize to me. I
want
will.
an
I will.
apology.
I will be
It's
against
not
the
even the same
Flyers.
social media person.
I don't care.
All right,
It's
well, maybe-
it's on. It's on.
It is hard when
It's
an
on the
emotional account
team.
calls you out.
Yeah.
It's on the team at this point that they have to give me. They have to show me forgiveness. They have to be like, they don't show me shit.
Okay,
Like, what,
okay.
what it was.
Okay. Well, maybe we need to turn this into a movement and
Yeah.
see if we can get Flyers Fink Forgiveness going or whatever order
They
we're gonna
also,
put it.
someone has kept records since they try to come at me, who's a big fan of the team, and
Right.
they stink.
Right. So you're saying it was
It's a
bad.
Fink curse. It's a
So
Fink
wait, the
curse.
Fink curse.
The Flyers start
So
this
it's karma,
Thursday.
as
The
you-
Flyers
Yes,
start
the
this
actual
Thursday.
season
This
starts.
Thursday.
Also, this is the
Why
most
is
important
there-
thing that I have to ask you about. What are the chances? Because I saw somebody, I think it was Chris Terry, I was talking about this online. Do you think there's any chance they bring Wayne Simmons back?
Oh,
I hope so. I saw that too, and I was into it.
We happen to have Wayne Simmons' biggest fan right next to me here.
yeah.
Oh my God.
Yep.
I don't know why he likes him so much. I can't
I can't really relate with many Flyers players
Wait, why
for
don't you
some
like
reason.
Wayne Simmons?
I love Wayne Simmons. You can, hey, don't you put me in that
I see.
position.
Yeah. As soon as I said that, I'm like, wait.
Why are you
no,
so anti-Wayne
No, pull it
Simmons?
back.
No, but if Wayne Simmons comes back to the Flyers,
I'm on
Rock,
board.
Are you getting that jersey?
I'm on board, yeah.
From Fanatic?
I was.
Hell yeah.
Rock,
I
I'm
loved
with
him
you.
the
Wayne
first time
Simmons.
he was here.
Wayne Simmons took over John LeClaire for me as my favorite Flyer.
There you go.
ever. I
Simmons
love him.
I love him. That dude worked
Oh,
hard,
yeah,
man.
and Yeah, he was. I mean, he's a great player.
How do you know? You didn't really watch him.
I was
Stop it.
Yo, I mean, from what I know,
No,
he was working hard.
me and Rock used to watch all the games together.
Yeah, hell yeah.
We used to-
Stop it.
Anytime
Yeah.
the Flyers were in the playoffs, it's like the same thing with the Phillies. I hopped
worked
right on
hard.
board. Oh, he did work hard,
Every
man.
hockey player probably works hard.
I mean-
That's how they made the NHL.
I always seen him in there getting gritty.
He's scrappy.
throwing-
He's
You
going
never
there.
watched him.
Goalie's
Definitely
face.
scrappy.
Yeah.
Well, I think the reality is once you start diving into the Flyers, you've probably been going for too long. At this point, with all this other stuff we got going on, we're getting into the Flyers talk. So at this point,
I didn't even know the Flyers
and
were
you know-
starting
you know
on
what the truth
Thursday.
is?
Listen, you're disrespecting Devin's in-arena
no.
hosting gig.
It's okay.
Oh.
I'm not disrespecting. I just want to say this.
She's disrespecting it herself.
When you look up and you see, oh my gosh, we've been going for this long, you've been having a good time, you've been having a good conversation. And so I always look forward to this because as you can see, Devin, I get to see these guys every week and it's kind of our time to get together and we get to talk about it how we want. So having you come into our ecosystem is a real treat. And we hope moving forward, like everybody we have on is like a friend.
This is a literal ecosystem. Look how many plants and wildlife there is in
right.
here.
There is
There are a lot of
literal.
plants in
There are a lot of. This is. It's like
I'm,
that.
I'm breathing.
What was the movie with
oxygen? Good oxygen.
The Baldwin guy, the Dome movie?
Biodome.
Biodome. It's like Biodome, and we are like the people in the Biodome. Anyway, point is, we had a great time tonight. We appreciate your time. We wish you
that the
nothing but
point?
the best with
Thank
everything
you.
you're doing. And like I said, you're a friend of the City Pigeons Podcast, which I don't know how far that goes, but hey, that's what we got now. So hopefully, maybe you can pop through the tailgate, or we're gonna do it a couple more times. We're gonna have other events. We're gonna do lots of things, and we just thank you
She's
for being
never
with
coming
us.
back.
Yeah, she's not coming back. We scared
No,
her.
I had a blast.
always-
I absolutely will come back.
We're scared her. Well, hey, all you guys, thanks as always coming. And
You didn't give her opportunity to
I did.
shout out
No,
whatever
see-
she wants.
See, this is his thing at the end. He says shout
I
out.
appreciate
he's a
that, and you
shout-out.
say it with like such a serious face.
I said,
do
what
feel
are you
very
up
passionate
to
about
over
that.
the next couple months?
So
Yeah,
yeah,
but there's-
I host the Eagles postgame show, and then I'm also on WIP typically every Saturday. I guess it depends on how the Phillies do moving forward. But yeah, listen to me on WIP.
And follow her on
Flyers.
Twitter.
And follow me on
Flyers.
Twitter because I'm funny, even though
Yeah.
no one shouted me out in your like Twitter favorites.
Look,
Last
we got your
episode,
Twitter.
2 episodes ago.
We got
Now
your
she's
Twitter
on it.
handle
Oh my God, you do. Yeah.
throughout the show.
At Devin.
Yeah, when I get my account reactivated, I'm following Devin
Thank
That's the
you.
first
Kaney.
account that he's
There
going to
is just
follow.
one follower.
Yes,
Me.
I'm not a bot.
Awesome. And for anybody who's watching, listening, we appreciate your time. And hopefully you can come out and join us at the tailgate.
Let's
We'll get
go.
to meet you. And, look, let's all just
Wait,
hope-
what's everyone's prediction for Sunday's game?
Oh, wow, he's going there. He
I wanna
just
hear
stopped
it.
me dead in my tracks.
Or should we talk about it Sunday?
31-24.
Yeah, it's funny.
Who?
Wow, he's already ready. It's
Eagles.
early.
Go Birds.
I have from May. I predict the
31.
Eagles are going to start off 6-0.
Look at you. Look at you. Did you say 31?
31-24. That's a good score.
Yes.
That is a good score.
I say Cooper Rush 7 interceptions, NFL record.
I say Eagles 14 sacks. Wait, they had that the other day. What did they have in that one game? Like 9 sacks. I don't know, man. I got to kind of feel it out. I will say this. I think it reminds me of the Vikings game. Where
You sound scared already. Jesus.
all right, I might be.
Change
it's
it.
the voice in the
the
back
voice.
of my head, dude. No, but like I remember the Vikings game. A lot of people were like, "We're gonna kick their ass," and I was just like, "Oh, it's a big game. I feel it's gonna be close." I'm having that same kind of energy, and I'm wondering if I should just be like, "No, we're gonna kick their ass," because I don't think they're as good as us. Although defense is playing well. You know what? I'm gonna go with 31-17 Birds. Boom, just pulled that
Damn,
right at
he
my
just
rear
under.
end.
He just under.
Let's go.
Cut me.
Devin?
So you know what sucks? Like I feel like the more games that the Eagles win at this point, because they haven't lost one, obviously like the pressure gets greater and greater, and it's the Cowboys, and I hate the Cowboys. And if they lose this game, I hate to say it, I think it'll kind of like negate all the positive vibes.
I don't like where this is going.
I know, but I just don't have a good feeling about it.
Oh, no.
Holy moly!
So I don't know. I'm also super superstitious, and I've said that about every game so far this season, and the Eagles have won. So
you got
I'm going to
that
refrain
voice.
from from giving a
All right,
prediction.
that's fair, but
I'm nervous, though. It's gonna be a tough game.
Give us the prediction.
No.
You got it.
It's
No.
early. I mean, this is early for a prediction, guys. He called us out way too early in this. Go ahead.
I think,
Say what you're
I'm
saying.
sorry. I think it's going to be another low-scoring game like last week. I think it's going to be like something 21-17 Birds.
You guys are going to do another prediction before
Right.
the game on the
Yeah, but they won't
Yeah, but you
see
know what?
that.
Yeah,
They won't
that's dumb.
see that.
They'll
Yeah.
see it when
it's dumb.
when it's aired.
It's dumb.
Yeah, then
Just like they saw when mine was
My
there that I
prediction on Sunday
predicted
is probably
the
gonna be a good
Devontae Smith over
Devontae Smith
reception.
was going over
Look,
that.
no one
3
ever
catches.
said this was going to be perfect, okay? But I think we do a pretty fair job. You know what I mean?
No,
So
once I
let's
get in the
just-
tailgate environment, my prediction is going to be so much
Yeah, it
different.
is. It's
I'm
gonna be like- he's gonna have that bullhorn.
Nothing.
Yeah, you're going to be, harassing
Standing
the
on
other.
chairs
You're going to be
with the-
harassing Dallas
with
Cowboys
megaphones.
fans.
Mark, what do you think back there? What's the Bird score?
Shout it out. Just whatever you got. Just we won't hold you to it. You're not responsible.
38-7 Birds.
7 Birds.
Ooh, I like that.
that's
You had a
definitely
bold
possible.
prediction for the Vikings game too, if I remember,
It's definitely possible.
on the podcast.
All right, we have figured out ways to
Cooper
extend this
Rush.
as long as possible.
Being
Is there
scared of
anything else
Cooper
anyone
Rush.
wants to
Could you
do?
imagine being
Yeah,
scared
me
of
and Meech
Cooper
got a
Rush?
playoff game tomorrow
Rush
night.
in the link in October on a Sunday night.
7 interceptions. All right, well, hey.
Good luck, Coop.
Let's keep that energy. Best of luck to you guys in your playoff game. Best of
right.
luck to the Phillies in their playoff game. And let's hope every week when we come back to do this, it just seems to get better and better. Obviously, the voice in the back of my head is saying that I probably can't keep going, but I hope it does. So I hope next week we're back and we're having as good a time as we've ever had. And thank you guys all for coming. See you next week.
Adios.
Go Birds.
See ya.